And we are back. Predictions, Week 8 edition in the NFL. I went 11-4 last week, making my season total 70-37. The games I got wrong were the final four: the Chargers Cardinals, the Ravens Buccaneers, the Jets Steelers, and the Chiefs 49ers. I also picked the Jacksonville Jaguars to be the lock of the week, and they did win, so I am now 6-1. But we're going to get right into it, starting out 8:15 p.m. tomorrow. As I'm recording this, it is Wednesday. All games in Eastern Standard Time, by the way. We do have the 5-1 Vikings versus the 2-4 Rams. The Vikings coming off of their first loss of the season, 31-29. Wow, the Rams coming off of their second win, 20-15 against the Raiders. I'm taking the Vikings. There's a reason the Vikings are 5-1. There's a reason the Rams are 2-4. Granted, the Rams isn't necessarily their fault. They have dealt with some pretty significant players with injuries. So I'm going to take the Vikings, even if Cooper Kupp plays. Next, we have the Packers and Jaguars moving to the Sunday 1 o'clock slate. Packers 5-2 coming off of a 24-22 game winner against the Texans, while the Jaguars coming off of a 32-16 win against the Patriots. Now, I have the Packers winning this game because it kind of is the same thing. There's a reason the Packers are the record they are. There's a reason the Jaguars are the record they are. Now, with that being said, Jaguars still have a chance to turn this season around. It's just their coach is holding them back. They have a great roster. It's just none of it's clicking. And I do think this should be one of the better 1 o'clock games. I am going to take the Packers, though. Moving on to the next one, we have the Cardinals and Dolphins. Cardinals 3-4, Dolphins 2-4. Cardinals coming off of their also game winner, 17-15 over the Chargers, while the Dolphins fell 16-10 to the Colts. I'm going to take the Cardinals because even if Tua does come back, which would, be huge for my fantasy team if he did, I don't think he's going to do very well. I think, he's going to have to ease back into it, and I think the Cardinals are going to take advantage of that no matter who's at quarterback, and they're going to win. Next, we have the Jets, who are 2-5, and the Patriots, who are 1-6. This should be a fun game. The Jets ended up falling 37-15 to the Steelers, while the Patriots fell 32-16 to the Jaguars. I am going to pick the Jets to win because they do have the better team when you look at it. However, they haven't really clicked this season, and I do think that will cost them, and I think this game will be a lot closer than it should be. I'm going to take the Jets, though, because also it is Drake May. He is going to be starting again, it sounds like. Jacoby Brissett might start, is what I meant. I don't think it really matters who plays quarterback. I'm going to be honest. I think they're relatively the same tier right now, and I think it's going to produce similar results. Give me the Jets. Ravens, Browns. Ravens 5-2. Browns 1-6. The Ravens coming off of a nice win, 41-31 against the Buccaneers. However, the score was a lot closer than the Ravens dominated. All right, the Buccaneers inflated it, made it close. It wasn't. Same thing with the Browns, who lost 21-14 to the Bengals, but they got destroyed. Jameis Winston is going to start this game, which I do think will give the Browns the best chance to win. However, just because they have the best chance to win with Jameis at the quarterback does not mean they're going to. I'm taking the Ravens, and I'm not even thinking twice about it. Eagles, Bengals. Eagles 4-2, Bengals 3-4. The Eagles coming off a 28-3 win against the Giants, I believe. While the Bengals coming off of a 21-14 win over the Browns. We just talked about it. This should be, in my opinion, game of the week. Because all the other contenders ended up with injuries. Bears, Commanders would have been one, but Jaden Daniels might not play. Falcons, Buccaneers would have been one, but Chris Godwin and Mike Evans both out. So I think this will be the game of the week. I'm going to take the Bengals because it is at Cincinnati. I think this game is going to come down to where it's played. And I do believe with it being in Cincinnati that it will give the Bengals just enough to get over that hump. Colts, Texans, Colts 4-3, Texans 5-2. The Colts coming off of a 16-10 win over the Dolphins, while the Texans coming off of their second loss, 24-22 to the Packers. This is a game I do believe will also be close because we saw in week 1 both these teams matched up really well against each other. We saw it in the last regular season game last year where both teams went down to the final few plays. I think we're going to see it again this time. I think the Texans are going to win. And I think it might be in the same situation as week 1 where the Texans and Colts don't really play their best. However, the Texans are going to do just enough to win. Titans and Lions. Now the Titans 1-5. Lions 5-1. Titans, they ended up losing 34-10 to the Bills, while the Lions knocked off the Vikings, who were undefeated at that point. So, big up for the Lions. And I'm going to pick the Lions because you don't go from beating... Or I mean, I wouldn't mind as a Packers fan, but if I'm a Lions fan, and, as an NFL fan, I don't believe the Lions are going to beat the Vikings and then lose to the Titans. I don't believe it. If it happens, it happens, and I would be surprised, but we're going to hope not for my prediction's sake. Next, we have Falcons-Buccaneers, both 4-3, both coming off of embarrassing losses. The Falcons, a bit more embarrassing as they fell. I don't remember the score. We're going to quickly check. 34-14 to the Seahawks. The Buccaneers, 41-31 to the Ravens. I'm taking the Falcons because of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I think that's going to be a huge blow to that team. And, well, yeah, that's the logic behind it. Moving on to our 405 games, we have 2 of them. First being Saints-Chargers. Saints 2-5, coming off of an embarrassing Thursday night loss in the Sean Payton revenge game, 33-10. Wow, the Chargers coming off of a 17-15 game loser in their sense, with the Cardinals, kicking that last-second field goal to win 17-15. I'm going to take the Chargers because with both teams at their absolute strongest, I think the Saints would win this game. However, the Saints aren't their strongest. They're missing quarterbacks, receivers. I mean, they're missing everything. So give me the Chargers because of that. But that should also be a very good game. Surprisingly good, I do believe, as well. Next, we have Bills 5-2, Seahawks 4-3. The Bills and Seahawks both coming off of 34-point wins. The Seahawks being 34-14, while to the Falcons, while Titans fell 34-10 to the Bills. We talked about that a bit earlier. I think this on paper looks like a good game. However, I don't think it will be. I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Seahawks are really going to struggle. They're probably going to honestly get blown out. They're going to blow out the Falcons and then get blown out. I feel like they wasted all their energy on the Falcons, and I feel like it's going to come back to bite them. The only saving grace for the Seahawks, in my opinion, is that it is in Seattle. So if there is a likelihood that they do win, it would be in Seattle. So I will give them that. Next, we have Bears-Commanders 425. If Jaden Daniels doesn't play, I'm going to be upset. Bears 4-2 coming off of a bye. Commanders 5-2 coming off of a 40-7 win over the Panthers. I do have the Bears winning this game. However, that is only because the certainty of Jaden Daniels is up in the air. While I do believe Marcus Mariota should make this game, competitive, even though Jaden Daniels probably gives them a better chance, I'm still going to go with the Bears. And even if Jaden Daniels probably gets cleared, I'm still going to because I don't know how well he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to want to use his legs. I don't know how much it will impact his throwing. The Bears just seem like the safe pick right now, and that's why I'm going with them. Next, we have Chiefs-Raiders. Chiefs 6-0, Raiders 2-5. The Chiefs, yet again, you saw the record. They ended up winning 28-18 to the 49ers, while the Raiders ended up falling 20-15 to the Rams. I do have the Chiefs winning. However, I would not be surprised if the Chiefs ended up losing this game because they ended up losing to the Raiders last year. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again this year. And, well, for the Chiefs, who are the final undefeated team, and who have a very comfortable lead in the AFC West, especially against the Raiders. Don't know if they're going to take this game so serious, especially after what they've had, the past few weeks where they have been squeaking by with wins. I mean, I would not be surprised that the Raiders won because, why wouldn't they, it feels like. Panthers, Broncos, give me the Broncos. Panthers lost last week. Broncos won last week. The Panthers are going to start Bryce Young, so maybe he, has that, that flip of the switch. Who knows? But the Broncos, I'm actually going to talk about this game. The Panthers, they lost 40-7 to Commanders. The Broncos, 4-3. They won against the Saints. I don't remember the score, but it was 30-13 or something like that. 33-10. So yeah, the Panthers have one win for a reason. Bryce Young has 0 wins this season. He got benched for a reason. I do think the Panthers are going to lose. I think the Broncos are going to win. Okay, that's enough. Moving on to our 8:20 p.m. game, we have one. Cowboys 3-3. 49ers 3-4. The Cowboys coming off of a bye week, just like the Bears. While the 49ers 28-18 loss to the Chiefs. And I have the Cowboys winning because it's kind of the same thing with the Saints Chargers, where the game looks really good on paper, and at full strength, I do have the 49ers winning. But the 49ers are far from full strength. And because of that, even with how lackluster the Cowboys have been this season, while, decently healthy, it's going to go with them because they're healthier. And I do think the 49ers are going to struggle, especially against, a team who has a high power, success rate in recent years. Finally, Monday night, October 28th, 8:15 p.m. We have the Giants, who are 2-5, and the Steelers, who are 5-2. The Giants ended up losing 28-3 to the Eagles, while the Seahawks won 37-15 to the Jets. And the big thing that will come into play with this game, is it going to be Drew Lock? Is it going to be Daniel Jones? Is it going to be Russell Wilson? Or is it going to be Justin Fields? Either way, I have the Steelers winning. I do think Drew Lock gives the Giants a better chance because I feel like the team kind of hates Daniel Jones, even if Daniel Jones might be the better player. And same with the Steelers. I think Russell Wilson has the locker room, but Justin Fields has the play. I'm going to take the Steelers. And you might have noticed as well, I have not picked the lock of the week this week. And that's because it is this game. I know. I saved it to the very end. I am taking the Steelers as my lock of the week. Go Steelers. So to quickly recap, I do have the Vikings, Packers, Cardinals, Jets, Ravens, Bengals, Texans, Lions, Falcons, Chargers, Bills, Bears, Chiefs, Broncos, Cowboys, and Steelers all winning their games. If I didn't say your team, I'm sorry. It means they're losing. And there's no team on a bye week, so there's no, that either. So we have a full week of football. Also, to quickly talk about the playoff picture, no teams have clinched or been eliminated from the playoffs, so, your team's still in it as well. But sitting at the 1 spots, they would get a first-round bye, is the 6-0 Chiefs and the 5-1 Lions. Congratulations to you two so far. Combined total of 11-1. That's pretty good. At the 2 seeds, we have the Texans and Commanders, both representing a 5-2 record. At the 7 seeds, so they would play these teams, is the Broncos, who are 4-3, and the Bears, who are 4-2. The 3 seeds being the Ravens and Seahawks. Ravens 5-2, Seahawks 4-3. While the 6 seeds being the Colts, 4-3, and Packers 5-2. They would play each other. The 4 seeds being the Bills and Falcons at 5-2 and 4-3. And the 5 seeds being the Steelers 5-2 and Vikings 5-1. They would play each other. And for all the new football fans who don't quite know how it works, wondering why is the Vikings with only 1 loss at the 5 seed, basically, the Lions are winning that division, and that they have the 1 spot. So the top 4 teams in their divisions get a bye. So that's why the Vikings are at the 5 spot, because they're not winning their division. But something to also mention about the Vikings is their whole division's in the playoffs. Their division's pretty amazing, with a combined record of 19-6. Yeah, 19-6. That's pretty good, with the Bears being the worst at 4-2. That 2 games above 500. That's amazing. So that will do it. I just thought I'd share that fact out there as well, that we could very well see the whole entire NFC North make the playoffs. And they have the majority of them still have to play each other multiple times this year. But I hope you enjoyed. I did. I'll see you guys next time. Which, might be UCF nights. However, I am super busy, and I do have company over tomorrow, which I found out at, the last possible minute, so I don't have time to pre-record it. So it's really going to depend on the company, how long they decide to stay. So not going to guarantee anything. I'm going to try and get a video out tomorrow, because, that will be my final video before I do take that weekend camping trip. So yeah, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.